Hello, sports fans everywhere. This is Jairus Sanders, and I have my brother today with me, Mr. Sam Sanders.
Right.
You're watching Just Sports. So today we're going to be recapping the Ole Miss versus Arkansas game.
Right.
We're going to let you know the good, the bad, the ugly. Matter of fact, I'll just tell you, we won. Stay tuned for more. So, what happened? What happened in this game today? It was a great game. Went back and no, it didn't. It was a blowout in the first half. We were up 20 points to 0. The best offense in the SEC couldn't score a point against the Arkansas Razorbacks in the first half. Like it kind of blew me away because they were so close with Alabama last week. And they wasn't able to muscle up a touchdown in the first half. What did you think about the Hogs?
I think, honestly, like just to your point, it says a lot about the growth in our defense. Because it's not something that you normally saying when you talk about Razorback football and just us going out and competing at that level. You're not normally talking about the defense of the Razorback being what you're hanging your hat on. Like we had the Petrino years, and it was, pigs flying and all of that. The McFadden years, it was the offense running, ground and pound and all of that kind of stuff. But today, man, it's not so much Arkansas's offense that's blowing you away. It's what they're able to do on the defensive side of the ball that's just I'm almost at a loss for words. I'm really excited about what I'm seeing from the Hogs.
That's exactly what stood out to me, and it should have stood out to almost the rest of the country today. Also, something that stood out to me was Treylon Burks and Rakeem Boyd were both back in action.
Back in action.
I told y'all last week that they weren't really putting up the numbers because of injuries. So they to have them back in the game today was masterful and an awesome thing to have for that Razorback team.
I think, just not to cut you off, I think I like to see the way Burks and Franks have already kind of gained some chemistry. I think with Burks being such just a great talent, just naturally, but Franks having that veteran leadership in him.
Absolutely.
You can see when he's on the run, Burks knows, hey, I got to get open, give my guy a shot, and he's big enough, fast enough, athletic enough to make something happen with those broken plays.
Absolutely. So we're going to break down the game, offense, defense, and special teams, or the lack thereof. So let's start with your defense, and I want you to point out some things that you saw that just stood out to you on the defensive side of the ball.
Like I said, this is unusual for us to be this excited about the defense. We tend to have one or two guys every season that we're like, okay, that guy can really ball. Yeah, he's going to go pro and he's going to do this or that. But it's collectively as a whole defense, we never really seem to get that brick wall built like we did today. I mean, if you look at opening out the gate, the first offensive possession for Ole Miss, they marched down the field and we were able to get a stop on the goal line.
It's like they were going so easily down the field. It's like they were just going. I'm like, oh, here we go again.
Here we go again. And you're thinking, okay, this is that. And Arkansas is really showing their colors. We're going to give it up. And this play, like we said, they have the number one quarterback in all of college football with Matt Corral. I really feel like the Razorback did a great job of corralling Corral today during they corralled Corral.
I love it.
I mean, seriously, they corralled him in that. Think about it like
I put that on the t-shirt.
Seriously. We think about Alabama as being the perennial powerhouse in the SEC.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And last week they played Bama and they played them tough. I mean, put up 48 points. This guy, Matt Corral, threw for 365 yards, 2 touchdowns against a Bama defense that's known for being stalwart on the defensive end. And today, he threw 6 interceptions, threw for 100 or 200 yards, passing 6 picks, 1 touchdown. I think we really we corralled him and really slowed them down. I think that all started with that first possession of the game. I think they gave the Hogs a lot of confidence.
So tell me this: who are some of the players that stood out to you the most on that defense? For the Hogs?
Oh man, it was a lot of great guys we saw today to celebrate. I think it starts number 1 with the captain, and that's Grant Morgan. I mean, my goodness, you told me like he's been slept on year after year as being one of the lead guys for this team defensively. But man, he was like, what do you have?
19 tackles.
Yeah, it was like 19 tackles. 3 for loss, interception,
pick 6,
a pick six.
It's so many. He could have had 3 interceptions. He had his hands on 3 of them.
Right.
But that last one, he finally got a hold of it and he took it to the house.
And he did all that. 1 interception, 1 touchdown,
Yeah.
and 1 arm.
One arm.
He's using 1 arm
Out
the
there
whole
looking,
game.
what I say, looking like a RoboCop.
Exactly, man. And even Catalan.
Yes.
Jalen Catalan showed a lot of promise and big
on
things.
that first drive, he had the fumble recovery.
That's
Then
right.
Then he came back with a pick 6.
Mm-hmm.
And so
the big hit
that came before the fumble recovery. He did that big hit. Well, I'm like, oh, he's here. That's when he announced to Ole Miss that I'm here. You're gonna feel me. You're gonna hear me. And he showed up after that play. It was just he was everywhere. He was all over the field.
Talk about the walk on, the freshman though.
Hudson Clark.
Yes,
Hudson Clark had 3 interceptions. He didn't bring any of them to the house, but they were all just as powerful.
Huge plays. Everything was so timely. Mm-hmm. There was a moment there in the second half where it's like nobody wanted the ball, right?
Exactly.
It's like back and forth. I'll throw a pick, you throw a pick, I'll throw a pick. And finally, Arkansas got a hold on that. It was like, okay, let's at least run the ball, get some first downs,
absolutely,
eat some of this clock while we got a good lead.
I think it's safe to say that Hudson Clark will be getting a scholarship.
Oh yeah. I'm pretty sure they're gonna be paying for his lunches. Yeah, that's right.
Absolutely. So next we're gonna talk about the offense, man. The offense, of course, we talked about him earlier. Treylon Burks.
Yeah, man.
He rushed for right under 50 yards. Mm-hmm. He also had 100, I believe, let me see, it was
137, I think it was.
137 yards receiving.
On 11 receptions.
He had just over 180 yards in total.
And the touchdown.
Oh, catch of the year. Well, me and Sam looked at each other and said, da-da-da, da-da-da.
That's right.
Sports Center top 10. That's
10,
it gotta be a top 10. That was
it was reminiscent
amazing.
of the OBJ catch.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? With the
one hand.
My man might get some commercials.
I think the best part about it was the toe drag.
Ballerina. The
ballerina Burks. That's what
Ballerina Burks.
Ballerina Burks, man. Treylon Burks had a wonderful game. It just shows you what this offense can look like when you got your stars in the game. Yeah. You know, last week we played against Auburn without Burks or without Boyd, and we still was able to do a good job. But when we got these guys that we need, we got our horses in there. Yeah. It's pretty much a done deal. Now, I will admit, in the third quarter and in the beginning of the fourth quarter, it was like we was doing nothing. We couldn't get anything going. But when we absolutely needed the offense to perform and to do its job, they came in. You know what they did? They had like back-to-back plays where they went straight to Burks. It was Franks to Burks and let Burks do the rest. You know, throw it to him behind the line and let him get those 10 yards. And it was crazy. They'll put one person on him and he'll just knock him off. And he will keep going. So Burks is, in my opinion, a future All-American. Catalan on defense is a future All-American. These are our young players who has a lot of potential and I feel like are going to produce and put Arkansas back on the map where they should be.
Would you agree? Like it's pretty deflating when your defense plays so well, especially pitching a shutout in the first half of the game, and you come out in the third quarter and it seems like the offense can't gain any traction.
Absolutely.
You know, everything you do, you're getting 3 and outs and stops and turnovers and all these things. So to finally be able to put the ball in Burks' hands and get some production, moving the right direction down the field, I think it really kind of pumped some life back into this team. You know what I mean? I think he really changed the game with that.
And when the offense was struggling, it put the defense even more pressure on them.
Yeah, they're on their heels.
We can't lose this game. So what we're going to do is keep doing what we've been doing this entire game. We're going to keep containing them, keep corralling corral.
Come on, man.
We're going to keep doing everything that we've done to get us to this point, and they did just that. Now we got to talk about the ugly. Special teams.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Special teams really has got me it's giving me headaches. And I'll be honest, I didn't really, going into this season, I didn't expect a whole lot from the Razorbacks. So what I really wanted to see under Coach Pittman, Odom, and these guys is, are we going to compete? You know, are we going to compete at a high level? I'm not expecting us to be bowl eligible, which now everybody is because of the pandemic. But I just want to see the Razorbacks look more competitive than they have in the last few years. So I didn't expect a lot from either offense, defense, special team. Just compete. But I've been so impressed by the defense, especially, and then strides on offense, where I'm looking at the special teams like, what do we do?
Exactly.
Did we just give up on special teams?
Man,
the punting is just. It's sad.
It is very sad. And on it seems like every single game, the opposing punter has like his best kick of his career.
They look like All-Americans.
Exactly.
Against Arkansas.
Yeah. The first punt got put down at the 1 yard line. I'm like, really? And I told Sam before it even happened, I was like, watch, this is going to be inside the 5. Like, no way, it's going to go in the end zone. No.
Even when it was up in the air, it looked like it was going to be a touchback.
Inside the 5. It was at the 1 yard line. It's just ridiculous. So we definitely got to improve on special teams. I will say we got to improve on offense as well, but that defense, that defense is something special. I wanted to point out something. It seems like in both of our wins, our defense has came out just pure dominant.
Yeah. And
it was against teams who the previous week probably had their best games of the year. When you think about it, Mississippi State.
Oh my goodness!
When we beat Mississippi State the week before that, they scored a lot of points and had over 600 yards
on the champion, the
defending national champion LSU.
Yeah.
So we was able to contain them because we was able to do a lot of scout work, and we really reacted well against Mississippi State. Now, Ole Miss had one of their best games of the year against who? Alabama. And our defense was able to contain them even better than Alabama was. Yeah. So I'm still not saying that Arkansas's defense is better than Bama or better than, well, they might be better than LSU, but they are improving and they're putting their name on the map.
This is how I felt about just that kind of scenario. Is LSU, honestly, they're the defending national champs, but let's be real, they lost a lot of pieces to the NFL through the draft. And so you expected them to be a little bit different, but you always expect LSU to play good defense.
Yes.
So it was a surprise to see Mississippi State put up 600 yards against them. But Alabama, they lost a little less in the draft, and you expect Alabama to come and with that force and physicality
every single year.
Every single year they're going to be good defensively. Even if their offense is staggering out the gate, they're going to be able to stop teams from scoring. And so Ole Miss really had me concerned, the fact they were able to put up 48 points. And I'm like, man, what is Arkansas going to do against this offense? And quite frankly, we corral.
Absolutely.
I mean, we put the clamps down on that high-flying offense. And a lot of times we was rushing 3.
Yeah.
We had 3 pass rushers going toward the quarterback.
It looked like the defense that they played against Mississippi State.
Exactly. There you go.
So to finish up, I want you to tell me, give me grades for offense, defense, special teams, and coaching.
Okay.
And coaching
That's
for
good.
the Arkansas Razorbacks.
That's good. I'll tell you, with about 3 minutes left in the game, they were down by just 5 points, and they got the ball back. I think it was 3:46 left, and I wrote down in my notes. I said, man, what is the defense? We need to stop right here. What is the defense going to do? Are we going to be talking about a defense that gave up the game, let them come back and score and win? Or are we going to be talking about a defense that came up with a stop in a critical moment and helped Arkansas get away with this victory? And man, the first play we stopped them behind the line of scrimmage. The second play, Grant Morgan comes up with a huge pick 6, march it on to the house, and from there it was game over.
Rumble young man.
So I got to give the defense an A+, man. They really, and they scored what? They scored 14 points for us today. And off of actually 17, because one of the picks turned into a 3 points on the field goal.
Yeah. So
they scored really 17 points for us today. So I got to give an A+ to the defense. The offense, I feel like we're right there to C. We're kind of at an average level. We have a lot of work to do. We've got a lot of promising pieces, like you talked about Traylon Burks. I think Knox is still out there. Warren's showing some bright spots. Felipe Franks had 4 touchdowns last week. So they have potential, but today they didn't really play up to it. We got to work that stuff out.
Yeah.
The special teams, I think, needs a lot of help. I'm going to have to give them a D just because of the lack of coverage. Like even with the fake punt. The fake punt that really gave Ole Miss a chance.
They had to know that was going to be a fake punt. And when I saw Ole Miss lining up for the punt, I'm like, ain't no way they about to punt this. Like, not Lane Kiffin's team. Like getting ready. There's 5 minutes left to go in the game.
You don't have nothing to do, nothing to lose by going for it. Nothing to lose.
Yeah, exactly. So the failure on that end is
I believe it was 4th and 10. Sorry to cut you off, but I believe it was 4th and 10, and you couldn't get a stop on a fake punt. That says a lot about our special teams.
Says a whole lot. I believe they gained 47 yards on that play.
Yeah.
So if you were to name one MVP for the entire game, offense, defense, coaching, anything. If you were to name an MVP, oh yeah, you didn't give a grade for the coach, but MVP, who would you say?
Man, for my grade for the coaching, I think we did a great job play calling. Something just didn't happen for us offensively, but I would give the coaching an A today.
Okay.
Barry Odom, man, those guys, Sam Pittman, they did a great job. Kendall Browse, yeah. I think for my MVP, I'm gonna have to hang it on the defensive side, and that goes with Grant Morgan. 19 tackles,
Can't
man.
go wrong there.
3 for loss, got an interception, got a touchdown, and he's doing it with one arm. I mean, what more can you ask from a guy like that? And stepping up in the absence of Bumper Pool, who is a major contributor on our defense.
That was major. When I saw that Bumper Pool wasn't available today, I was like, here we go again.
Yeah.
Here we go again. But Hayden Henry.
You could easily give it to Hayden Henry. He could easily be your guy. Him or Catalan, they made huge plays as well. So.
Hayden Henry and Grant Morgan stepped up in that place. So we appreciate you guys for listening and watching. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, share the content, put a thumbs up on there. We look forward to posting more videos. Go ahead.
Let me ask you this though, before you wrap it up. Let's talk about the next game for the Razorbacks. What are you excited about? Like, how do we carry all of this up and take it to the next game with A&M?
Well, I feel, coming up, we got a bye week, so I feel like this is going to be very important to get Bumper Pool some rest and get him back right, and get the team healthy.
Yeah.
But A&M with a victory over Mississippi State, they looking like a very formidable opponent, and we're going down to A&M for the first time since the John L. Smith day.
Oh wow.
John L. Smith year. So this will be something big for the team, a new experience for most of the players. So I feel like this is going to be a good stepping stone, a jumping stick for us to go to the next game against Texas A&M. Hopefully, we'll end that game with a 3-2 record. We should be 3-1, but we're not going to talk about that Auburn game. But but thank you all again for watching, and I look forward to sharing more content. Again, you're watching Just Sports with Jairus Sanders, and I got my co-host here, Sam Sanders. Have a great day.